Hey, we're live on Facebook.
It's the coolest thing ever. Lily and I were just talking about what an incredible feature it is to be together on Zoom and then directly to Facebook all at the same time. So, welcome everybody.
Hey.
Okay. Lily, thank you so much for doing this with us and with me and talking about something that I know is near and dear to your heart as it is to mine. And I'm excited to just share it with everybody. We are both in Mary Kay, but this is not a Mary Kay thing. This is a life thing. I think the more people that have an understanding of basic needs, the better off we all are. You're kind of trapped at home right now, and to know what each other's what we're going through, how we process information, what we need, I think is vital to where we are right now. And that's kind of been the what spurred this conversation today. So first of all, this book right here is where the basic needs came from. And Lily and I were just talking about the book. I don't think you need to go read the book, but I think this information that Lily's going to give you today is going to honestly change your life. It really did mine and my husband and our conversation. And just to know, one of the things that I love what in the graphics that you made, Lily, and we'll share those in a second. One of the lines was, this isn't necessarily what you want, but it's what you need. And you can disagree all day long. Like, I think sometimes we're like, but I don't want that to be my need because my primary is power and achievement. And sometimes that sounds kind of intense, for lack of a better word. And I'm like, well, I don't want to be that. Well, it is the need that needs to be filled in order for me to not be in stress behavior. And my leadership coach, Dr. Nathan Baxter, when we started working together, one of the very first things he taught me about was stress behavior. And he said that everybody's stress behavior is different, but it's all ugly. So it doesn't matter what it is, it's not pretty. And this is the most brilliant part, and Lily, I know you're going to hit this as well, is that it's not anybody else's responsibility to fill your needs. We can fill our own needs. And I think that was a life changer for me because that isn't a thought that I grew up with. That was, I know I need, give me, give me, give me, give me, fill me, fill me, fill me, instead of, wait, what do I need here? Because now I know it, and what do I do about it? And so it's been a game changer. So I'm really excited for you guys to listen to Lily talk about all of this. So Lily, introduce yourself. Tell us first of all what your basic need is, because I would think that your basic need and my basic need are about how far can I get in the screen this far apart. So tell us about that.
Okay, so my basic need is love and connecting. And so love and connecting, and it's basically love and connecting is where you just want to influence people. That's what energizes you. You want to make a difference. You value relationships, you like groups, you love girlfriend time and a sisterhood, and everything that is the opposite of what is happening right now in this day and age. So that's my primary need. And one thing I do want to say, Heather, before we kind of move on is, if I was to read all of these today, right now, who I am and who I've been trained to be, for lack of a better word, I would be power and achievement, 100%. And so I think what's so important for people is to not distinguish who you are or what you want or the characteristics that you exude, and really look at your DNA, because these are God-given DNA. The day you were born, you already had your basic need. And so I love achieving. I love competing. I love all the things that you talked about, Heather. But if you were to take one of these away from me, one of them would make me paralyzed to the point where I could not breathe or move or live another day. And it would be love and connecting. And so it's so important for you to go back if you're trying to figure out, like, which one am I? And I know that's not what we're talking about today, but I just think this is so critical, because I have seen people thinking their need is something else because of who they've been trained to be versus who you were born to be. And so you've got to look at who you were as a kid and what characteristics that you had then, and make sure that you're functioning from that place when you're studying this. Otherwise, it's going to confuse you.
Agreed. I love that. And because I believe that we, sometimes we can morph into something that is pleasing to somebody else, whether that's your parents or, any kind of life situation. But I love that. If it was taken away, you would suffocate.
Mm-hmm.
There it is, right there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So which one do you want to talk about first?
Let's start with yours.
She's a peach. Okay, okay, there we go. So I'm going to screen share and I'm going to pull up power and achievement. And then, so Lily, what I would love for you to talk about is the basis of the need, but then how do you tweak it when we still have the need and we're still unable to experience so much of our life. So talk about how, if you were power and achievement, what would that look like for you?
Yeah, for sure. So I think before we start, here is what I think is really, really important to say is that a lot of this stays the same no matter the circumstances. Okay, your needs are still your needs no matter the circumstances. And so we cannot control our circumstances right now. We cannot control what's going on. We cannot control, certain things of what we are able to and not able to do. And you may be filling your need in a different way now. I want you to know to fill your need regardless of what is going on in your life. Yeah. And so the reason that a lot of people feel like their needs cannot be met, Heather, I'm looking at Facebook right now, not at this, so you're sharing.
Is it okay, sharing?
So, well, I see your Facebook up, but I don't like
I see. About that.
No, it's still your Facebook. There we go. I see it.
Perfect. I'll stop touching.
Oh my gosh, so funny. Okay. And so it's so important to remember that when a crisis hits, it hits our emotions, right? It hits our emotions. And what we know is that when emotion is high, logic is low. And so what you don't want to do with these needs is go into this black and white thinking where you can't meet my needs because I can't do it in the way that I did a month ago. False. Okay. You want to be really, really careful with making those black and white statements. So if you're power and achievement and you're used to winning in a certain way, you can't win anymore. It just means you have to figure out a different way to do it. And I just want to give you guys this example really quick because I think this point is important to drive home. I was training for a half marathon, ran a half marathon, was like in the best shape of my life, was cross training, was doing all of this stuff, working out 6 days a week, felt great, was eating really clean. Life was going so good. I'd never felt better in my life. I figured out my thing. And then I injured myself. And instead of figuring out what else I could do to fill that need of feeling good and being in shape and moving my body, I went into like a downward spiral depression funk. And I said, I don't want to swim. I don't want to do yoga. I want to do what I was doing before. And if I can't do that, then I'm going to be a brat and I will do nothing. And so that's exactly what I'm seeing happen now, you guys. And so learn from me and don't make that mistake. There's so many other options that you have. Okay, so here we go. So I won't forget everything that you've known up to this point, because right now it's unprecedented times. We've never been through something like this before, so we kind of have to relearn and start over. So here we go, power and achievement. The most important things that I believe during this time right now for people is to ask themselves that daily question. The daily question, so once you know what your need is, ask yourself that daily question. So for power and achievement people, it's going to be, what finish line can I cross today? Now, I don't care if we're talking about your career, your workouts, your kids, your husband, your relationships, cooking, I don't care what it is. What finish line can I cross today? So power and achievement people have the need to conquer. So as kids, they were competitive. Like I remember Leah Carta, she was telling me a story about how when she was a kid, she needed to raise money for something. So she like went and bought Krispy Kreme donuts and sold them at a profit so she could like turn it around and buy whatever she wanted. Okay, Kristen Sharp, she said she entered this drawing competition, and instead of just entering it for her county, she sent her to like 13 different counties, like 7 out of 13, whatever. Those are power and achievement kids. They're very entrepreneurial. And at a very young age, it's like about money and winning and competitive. And you can see this like drive inside of them. So they love winning. They love the spotlight, appreciation. Now, all of these may not fit you, and that's okay. It's more like of a skeleton, but everyone's bones are a little bit different. Okay. But the skeleton is kind of the same. They love relationships that challenge them. They like challenges and like learning new skills. Like to them, that's a win. Like I just mastered something that was so good. They without even thinking about it. So to Heather and I say, okay, one of you is going to be person A, one of you is going to be person B. She would be like, person A, like she's there. So they're in charge. They love completing goals when their need is met. When their need is met, they have this contentment and this confidence. Like they can go to bed and their head hits the pillow and they're like, I did good today. When their need is not met, they're anxious and they have like restless body syndrome. Okay. Like they can't calm down because they feel like they didn't serve their purpose for that day. So when I think of power and achievement people, I think of huskies. Okay. Like huskies are like, they're born to like run and work. And if you put them in a cage, like they're not going to be able to do what they were bred to do. Okay. When their need is not met, they feel underutilized. They do nothing. So if they're not winning, like they're one of those people, they're like, well, if I can't win, I'm out. Like they're either in or they out. They check out just as fast as they check in. And if they can't find a win in whatever current situation, they will leave and find it somewhere else. So like during this pandemic, you guys will see a lot of power and achievement people become expert farmhouse sign makers. Okay. Or you will see them, like you will see Heather become a master Pelotoner. Okay. Like whatever, because they will find something to win in. My husband is very power and achievement. He was home with our kids for 7.5 years. So imagine power and achievement, stay at home dad. Okay. He would create these math worksheets for my son and be like, today he got a 49 out of 50. Today he improved his average by 2% over yesterday. And I'm like, oh my gosh, he's totally finding his place to win. And it's so great. Okay. Their challenge is that they lose sight of their purpose and they can be insensitive to other people. And then their stressors is when there's no finish line to cross, there's a lack of opportunity and they don't want to be a part of the crowd. They want to be a standout. And so I would just tell you that in this current climate, what you can do different is figure out how to pivot. Power and achievement people do tend to also be stubborn. And so if they're used to being good at something and they're used to winning in a different way, like again, like a husky, it's very difficult to convince them to go a different route. And so then they're just stubborn and they're not getting anywhere and get checked out and move on to something completely different. And so the key here is to ask yourself, in the current climate, what finish line can I cross today? Where can I win today? What new skill am I going to master? Who am I going to be better at holding whatever? Okay. And so that's the mindset you have to have. And every single day you have to have something to look forward to that you can conquer or overcome or learn, or a challenge that you get to be in control of. Okay, so does that summarize it well, Heather?
Oh yeah. It's funny over here because like we have how fast can we do the laundry? And can we do the laundry intermittent the time that the air fryer is going? And what can we do it better than we did it yesterday? It's sick. It's just sick. But yes, it's incredibly true. Okay, so let's do yours next.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay. Love and connecting. And I will tell you, for me to pivot as a power and achievement has been really tricky. I was telling Lily that last week was really difficult for me because I couldn't figure out how to win, because I didn't think that eating Oreos for breakfast was necessarily winning, but that's what I was doing. So it took me a little bit. And so once you find out how to win every day, you can win every day. If you're power achievement, you can make your own things up. It's awesome. So, okay. Love and connecting.
Okay. So love and connecting is the need to influence. Okay. And so they're energized by being with other people and being in community and knowing that they're making a difference. And so power and achievement, if you think about it, it's more goal oriented. Like they want to achieve. And love and connecting is more people oriented. They want to achieve through people. And so again, this is not about comparing. It's not about, well, power and achievement are more motivated. It's not. It's about, like, you can have a love and connecting person and a power and achievement and have the exact same successful at it. It's just their need behind it is slightly different. And that's kind of what's important to realize. So they like to have passion. Love and connecting people do not like surface level stuff. So like small talk of like, oh, hey, what's your name? How are you? They're like, tell me your life. Tell me how I can understand you. Like, what annoys you? I would like to know what your pet peeves are so I can never do that. Okay, like love and connecting people get down to it. They really value relationships. They measure their progress based on elevating other beliefs and understanding. For example, to give you guys a personal example, I can check things off a list all day long and go to bed feeling super empty, versus I can check nothing off my to-do list, but have one conversation where I legitimately moved someone, influenced someone, made someone feel better, calmed them down, gave them comfort, whatever, and I feel like $1,000,000. I need nothing else. And so what fulfills me at the end of the day is going to look very different. When their need is met, they're really happy, they're confident, and they are forward moving. When need is not met, they themselves, they become too sensitive to the needs of other people. So they become very self-sacrificing. Okay, now so power and achievement people, when they're not in a good place, they can become very stubborn and tunnel focused. Love and connecting people become like self-deprecating. And you guys, the thing is both are just as selfish. That's what's important to remember. Like Heather said, it's just ugly. Like it doesn't matter what your ugly looks like, it's all ugly. And so they'll put themselves on the back burner to the point where they resent other people, even though they're the ones that chose to help people to begin with, which is really funny. They also complicate their performance. So they overcomplicate things and they pull back because they feel unappreciated. Okay. Their stressors are if they have no platform to influence. So right now you'll see love and connecting people. I don't know how to use it. I don't know. I'm not on social media much, and they are freaked out because they feel like their voice has been taken away, because literally how they survive, like connecting and influencing for them is. And so if they do that and they don't have the means to do that, or have chosen not to teach themselves the means to do that, they will feel like they're suffocating right now. Their stressors are uncertainty if what you do matters. So if you're talking and you're even making difference, does it even matter to people that I'm like, am I being heard at all? And their stressors are being without community. Their challenge, they can hang on to people for too long. So love and connecting people are usually loyal to a fault. And they just will keep going and going and going with people that maybe are not great to have in your life. And they become, again, oversensitive because they feel like they're doing everything for everyone and not getting anything in return. So their daily question is, who will I impact or encourage today? I was talking to someone yesterday and she said, I'm having really bad anxiety and what I'm doing is writing cards, because writing cards makes me feel like I'm a difference. Okay. That's like how she copes with anxiety, is making other people feel encouraged. And love and connecting people. So like when a power and achievable needs to go win, a love and connect person needs to know that they still matter. And no matter what's going on around them, they can still make a difference. And so these are the people that you're doing things for the community, or, writing everyone cards, baking people cookies and dropping them off at their front porches, buying groceries for people. Like those are the people that you'll see doing that. And it's totally as beautiful and as selfless as it is, it also is totally filling their need, because it is a need to connect and to love on people. So there you go. There's love and connecting.
So Lily, because that's yours, what are you specifically doing to meet that need?
Yeah, I think for me, it's been about really understanding that every individual, like they have their own set of fingerprints. And it's understanding that in this season, especially, relationships are the trickiest that they've ever been. And so for me, the challenge has been really figuring out how to serve someone exactly in the way they need served, and being okay if it's not the way I want to be served, or if it's not the way I would have served them a month ago. So some people need more hand-holding. Some people need me to pull back. Some people need more acts of service. Some people need a straightforward conversation. And so I think for me, connecting has become being what they need me to be, instead of just being who I am, if that makes sense. So like, I can't just treat everyone how I would want to be treated. I really have to understand everyone deals with this differently. And the best way for me to connect is step into their shoes and do what they need, instead of maybe like what my default would be or what I would want done for me or whatever. And so, for me, simple, it's just saying, hey, how are you? I'm thinking about you. And that's literally all they need. For some people, it's saying, hey, I have no expectations of you right now. And they're like, oh my gosh, that's all I needed. And so just figuring out, and for some people, it's like, hey, I know you can push, like Heather, I know you can push through this. Girl, put down those Oreos, get on that Peloton, you can do this, okay? And so just figuring out what that person needs and figuring out how to connect. And I've thought about this, and like what I want people to say about me at the end of all of this is like, she was there for me, like she was there for me in the capacity I needed her, not in the capacity she needed me to be there, but she was there for me how I needed her to be there, if that makes sense. So that's
absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. So what's your second one?
Power and achievement, I think, for sure.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Let's do fun and pleasure, because it's fun and pleasurable.
It is so fun. Okay.
It is so fun. I love fun and pleasure people.
I do too. Okay. And so guys, here's the thing too, when you're looking at these, like, I love fun and pleasure. Okay. I look at all of this and I'm like, I like all of this. All of this sounds like something I want to be a part of, but it's not. Okay. And so again, you've got to make sure that you understand the difference between characteristics that I have versus like, if one of was taken away, you literally would not be able to survive. Okay. Fun and pleasure. They are all about experiences and laughter. So one of my good friends, she used to be our nanny, total fun and pleasure person like no one I have ever met. The girl is gallivanting all the time. Okay. Like if you look at her Instagram, you're like, are you a professional traveler? Like she just always booking her next experience. She will work hard to play hard. Like power and achievement people will work hard so they can tell people they work hard. Okay. Like that's just why they want to work. Fun and pleasure people are like, I will work if there's something awesome at the end and have to have really fun. That super motivated by the ability to have fun, conversation, and laughter on a daily basis. They're very drawn to music. They love experiencing the uncommon. So they love going to new places, new venues, new restaurants, trying new things. They love new things. They love to get away. So right now, fun and pleasure people are having a great time. Okay. They have this need for adventure. Okay. They need adventure. And they're very spontaneous. They like things like theme parties, and it's great. Okay. When they're needed, they're passionate, they're excited to get to work, they're effective. When their need is not met, they question why they're doing something. Okay, so if it's not fun, they will be like, why should I do this? I could go do something else that's more fun. Why would I want to be doing this right now? Okay, like that's me in homeschooling. I'm like, why is this happening right here? Why am I doing this? Okay. When their need is not met, they become resentful because they're so heavy on having fun that if it doesn't seem fun and they don't see the light at the end of the tunnel, they're resentful and they don't want to do it. They start checking boxes and they start to feel very spent. Like I have nothing left to give. Okay. If they're not earning something fun, they're stressed and monotony. COVID-19. Okay. Monotony, have tos, lack of resources, serious or dull conversations, and just things that are not entertaining. They don't want to do that for long periods of time. So I actually relate to this one quite a bit.
You too.
Yeah, for sure. You know that you're a fun and pleasure person here. Like I'll give you guys an example because I thought this was my need for a while. Here's how I knew that this was not my need. Okay. If I'm with my best friends, okay, and it's like 4 of us and we're having a great time, and I see a carnival across the street and I really want to go to the carnival, and my friends are like, oh, we don't really want to go. We're going to go shopping. I don't want to go shopping, but I want to stay with my friends because I'm loving connecting. I'm going to go with my friends. A fun and pleasure person would be like, peace. And they literally would be at the carnival, making new friends, riding the rides. Okay. And so that's how you know is when it's not something you want or it sounds good, but you would literally give up anything else to go do that, to go experience, to go have fun. And so for fun and pleasure people, the number one thing, that daily question, you guys, is going to be gold every single day. What am I looking forward to today? What fun can we have while we're here? Okay. Like my family and I did videos for a while that were fun. We would dance and we would
They were so cute, by the way.
very fun. It was like our way of having fun, right? So like, what can you figure out in this moment? Leah Cardish, she hosted a virtual game night where like 3 families hopped on and we did a family game night over Zoom. Okay. I've seen people do date with their husband where they like actually dress up super fancy, put heels on, get takeout from a restaurant. And so you can still have experiences. Maybe it's ordering a murder mystery dinner, you know, and having that as a date night. There's so many, as you guys know, like now escape rooms are going virtual. And so it's literally waking up and saying, what am I looking forward to today? How can I create fun? Because the reality is again, just because it doesn't look like the type of fun you're used to having doesn't mean you can't have fun. Just because adventure, like your plane tickets got canceled and you can't go where you wanted to go, does not mean that you can't have adventure and fun within this environment. So every day, what new thing can I find online that excites me? What new experience can I do virtually? What am I looking forward to today? Who can I laugh with? These are going to be the people posting a lot of memes. Just go with it. They're filling a need. Leave them alone. Okay, leave them alone. So that's fun and pleasure.
I love it. It's funny because you were talking about games and things like that. And I'm like, well, Frank and I are playing games every night, but it's to win. So like we trash talk text all day long. What time are you going to be home? Because I'm going to kill you at Monopoly Deal, which is our current favorite. And we just play to win. Yep. So funny. So funny.
Yeah. And they play to laugh, right? Like they play to laugh, they play to bond, and they play to have an experience. Awesome. So yeah, it's very, very different, but just as fun, you know?
Right. Okay. Let's do freedom and choice. This is my high second one.
Yeah. Okay. So freedom and choice are very independent. They love freedom. They love flexibility. They're very resourceful. They're very much like, I want to figure this out type of people. They're self-starters, they're decision makers, and they like to have options. So if you have someone who's freedom and choice in your life, like how to tell if you were a freedom and choice as a kid. Now, you guys, here's the deal. I know trauma changes things, and there's different experiences that really mask who you were needed to be. And so be cautious of that as you're really looking into your childhood. I know someone who's very heavy freedom and choice, but her childhood was said that the circumstances she lived through. And so freedom and choice people, like if you've ever seen that picture of a ballet class and like all the little girls are like standing there all cute and there's one hanging upside down on the bar, that's a freedom and choice. Like she just does not want to conform. Okay, like if the dress code is all black, she'll come in all black, but it'll be like black cheetah print with glitter and sequins on it. Like they just have to do something to stand out. They just cannot conform to save their life. They're super energized by choices and freedom to choose an open agenda. They really want to create their own way. So like one of the worst things that you can do to a freedom and choice person is tell them what to do. Like if I said right now, Heather, you're going to hang up the phone, you're going to put on jeans, you're going to put on a different shade of lipstick, and you're going to write this and you're going to send it to this person. She literally would like not talk to me for a week. Like she would be like, no, thanks. I'm not doing that. I have no interest in what you have to say. And so achievement people are capable, and they just want you to see that they're capable. Like that's their biggest thing, is they just want you to say, you got this and you can figure it out. They want to control their own decisions. They want to control their own schedule. They don't want you to tell them what their schedule should look like. They just want you to say, I know that you're going to figure out the perfect schedule for you because you're capable and it is your choice and it's going to be great and it's going to work for you. They value relationships that do not require constant attention. They really are not the most patient of people to babysit a ton. And they really express themselves through actions. When their need is not met, they feel suffocated and trapped. So a freedom and choice person, as soon as they feel like someone is trying to control them, they feel extremely suffocated. They also get thrown off course very easily. And honestly, they kind of have low commitment if it wasn't their idea. So if it didn't come from them and it wasn't like their desire, their decision, and someone was like, this is what you should do, commitment sucks. Like it's not there because they're not doing it like out of the innate need. They're doing it to please you or whatever, which freedom and choice people don't want to please you. And so if are doing it for that reason, it's going to just deplete them and they're not going to be good at all. They will also rebel when that happens. So like I've had freedom and choice people, like I'll make a flyer and they'll send it back to me and they'll change like one word and they'll be like, look, I made it better, because they just think they can do it better. A lot of the time it's like, oh, it would be so good if it had this, because they just want it to be their way. They just want it to be because they know they're capable. Okay. When their need is met, they have a ton of energy. They have super belief. They're like unstoppable. They're willing to get out there, do what needs to get done. They have this unique confidence and like go-getter spirit. So when their need is met, they're some of the most unstoppable, get it done, creative, pave the way type of people. But they do come across as rebellious to a lot of people because they do like to be unique and stand out and just do it slightly different and slightly against the grain. Their stressors are rigid rules, structure without choices, being told that they have to, and being told, well, the only way that you can do is by this. They literally will either not do it at all, or they will be like, watch me create another way just to spite what you just said. Okay. They also have a hard time with accountability. So freedom and choice people are very much like, I'll be accountable when I feel like it, but don't tell me I have to check in every Wednesday. They just don't want to do that. That's not what they want to do. And so for freedom and choice people in this environment, what I would suggest is what options do I have today? Okay, what options do I have today? And so they want to be in charge of the schedule. They want to be the ones that are creating it. And so just giving space for that. And you guys, even if you have freedom and choice kids, like instead of saying school has to start at 8 and you have to start this and you have to start at this, using a more like Montessori method where you say, this is what has to get done today. Do you want to do it now, or do you want to have breakfast? Do you want to do this now, or do you want to giving them options will make your life so much saying, I know that you're going to get the work done. So if you need an hour, right, it's okay. If you want to your pajamas today, that's okay. If you want to work in your sweatpants, that's okay. You have the freedom and flexibility to do that. And so in this current climate, saying, what options do I have? Like, how do I want to connect with people, or how do I want to work, or how do I want people to perceive me? Do I want to like, and so you have those options and you get to decide which options to explore. So if you're talking about business, especially what we do, you get to decide how you want to run a business, what it's going to look like virtually, instead of looking at one formula and feeling like I have to conform to this. So really making sure that you're aware that you have options and that you do have the freedom to follow them. The problem with freedom and choice people is if they feel like they don't have options, they straight up won't do it. And so it becomes challenging to where you have to be like, okay, I have options, but I do have to choose one of these. Like I can't just continue and continue and continue to rebel. With fun and pleasure people, same thing. They could figure out how to have fun during this whole thing, but they totally forget to be productive because they're busy having fun. And so it's like, you've got to like reel it in with a lot of the needs. Love and connect people. Like baking cookies is so awesome, but I can't do that all day long. I still have to do laundry and like feed my kids and do stuff that has to get done. And so it's figuring out like, how do I meet my need, but still do what needs to be done and move forward at the same time. So there you go. There's freedom and choice.
That's awesome. Oh my gosh. So we're at the gym, AKA outside at 5 a.m. and it was my turn for the workout, and we had this awesome workout. And like sometimes I can get lazy, and this workout I killed it. And I got in the car and I said, see, Frank, I do like to work out. I just like it when it's my idea. And he goes, yes, I'm well aware. I'm like, who am I fooling? Nobody. But it was because it was my idea. I dominated.
100%. And if your voice is like very high up, you will not like other people's ideas just because it wasn't your idea. It could be an excellent idea, but because you didn't come up with it, there's something in you that's like, like you really have to like force yourself to like it because you don't want to like it. You want it to be your idea. Yeah.
Yep. It's a problem. Okay, so the last one is safety and security. This is my husband through and through. I'm excited to see what you're going to say about safety and security. So go for it.
Okay, so safety and security. So as kids, they typically were more introverted. They were a little bit more shy. They had like a security blanket. It's maybe the kid who's like super attached to one of their parents, and hides behind their leg around new people. And safety and security people as adults. So they're super energized by a stable environment, knowing what to expect, having a savings account. Like one of the biggest motivators for security people, like to the point where it is a need. And if they don't have it, they literally cannot function. They're very much like methodical. They need to think things through. Things have to make sense. So they're not like pleasure people are like, oh, you want to go jump out the window? Let's do it. That sounds fun. A safety and security person has to like watch a video, see a diagram, research it, watch 100 people do it to make sure 100 out of 100 survive. Like they might do it. It's not that they don't have a need for advice before they ever do something like that. Motivated by the ability to control things and create their own future. Peace is really important to them. They like to follow rules. They're total rule followers. They really like certainty. Like they like to know what they're walking into, what to expect. They're very much like one step at a time. They love to know that there's a process and there's a formula they can follow, and that there's a proven formula of people that have gone before them. And so their need is they're at peace. They're actually able to take risks. They know things will be okay, feel peaceful. They're more likely to take leaps of faith. When their need is not met, they're very anxious, very panicky. They worry a lot, and that causes them to play very small because they're so anxious. And so their stressors are unexpected changes, uncertainty, no margin. So like and what that means is you have no margin in your life. And so like safety and security people, they need some wiggle room. They need to know like hour here, 2 hours there, just in case things change. It makes them feel safe to know that there's margin in their life and margin in their schedule. And so when there's no margin, it freaks them out. Instability and what ifs. And so as you can imagine, for safety and security people, I mean, for all the needs, of course, our current situation is shaking people. But for safety and security people, all of the stressors are booming, and so for safety and security people, my recommendations is to find a really limited, accurate source of news, because they like to be in the know. They like to know what's going on, but they can become so anxious when that's their whole world. And so like limiting the news and making sure that the outlets of the news that are coming in are accurate, factual, and concise. So it's more like facts, numbers. The other thing that's really, really important is for them to just know, okay, what can I expect today? Like, I know I cannot control what's going on in the world and outside of my house, but still feeling like they have some sort of control within their house. That is really, really important. So whether it's waking up at the same time, having a routine for their work schedule, their workout schedule, dinner at the same time, like whatever predictability you offer them in this season is going to be really, really important. The other thing, like as far as work goes, for a lot of people, this is very unprecedented, but there's so many things that have been done virtually before. There's been businesses that have been built that are multi-billion-dollar businesses that have been built online. Am I gone? No, I'm still here. Oh, my email popped up. I got scared. I got disconnected. And so it's asking yourself, what has been proven to work? So almost the opposite of a freedom and choice person, right? Freedom and choice is like, I'm going to figure it out and I'm going to find my way. A safety and security person needs to hear, hey, this person has done it, has worked and worked and worked. This is a safe path to take. And so basically, if you have people in your life that some are freedom and choice and some are safety and security, you've got to know how to talk to them. Because if you go to a safety and security person and you say, hey, I know it's a super uncertain climate, just jump out the window and see what happens, they're going to freak out. Versus a freedom and choice person, if you said, here's something that has been proven to work, they're going to be like, that, I'll do my own thing. And so figuring out how you can meet their need. But the good news is for safety and security people is that there have been times in our history when pandemics have hit and we have survived and we have come out stronger and better and having invented new things and learned new things and being better and our values aligned. And so it's finding security and safety in the known and limiting the unknown as much as you can, which I know is hard because they want to stay informed, but limiting the unknown. And then honestly, you guys, for safety and security people, it's going to be limiting spending. Like, I know that sounds crazy, but if everything is spinning out of control, if they can hone in on their bank account and be like, oh, but my savings isn't dwindling. Oh, but we were still able to add to this or whatever. And so like, if your wife is a crazy shopper and your husband is safety and security, that's a conversation that's to be had, because she might be like, that's how I deal with stress. And he might be like, you're literally killing me by doing this. So really figuring that out and how to marry those two so that both needs stay met.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. I hope, guys, that this was as valuable to you as it has been to me in my life. Like I came into my marriage with $65,000 in debt, and I married a safety and security. Like, talk about freak out, but it didn't bother me. I'm like, whatever, it's fine. But when you know your needs and you know the people in your life's needs, like, I mean, I think it would be so vital, especially right now, to know your kids' needs. Like, that would change, just like you were talking about freedom and choice, giving people, the kids, options. It would change life if you knew what they were. So I hope you guys will dig into this and really embrace it and learn it and grow from it. And it becomes a conversation, like a common conversation. I'll never forget. Frank did something and I was like, ooh, your efficiency is so sexy. And he goes, your savings account is sexy. And I was like, ew. Like, what are you talking about? But that really is, like, he didn't even miss a beat. It was so funny. But that, to know what fills the other person and what freaks out the other person, I think is really, really important. So is there anything, Lily, that you would like to say in closing on any of this?
I would just say, get to know your family during this time and the people that you're in communication with, and share this resource with them. And I just think now is the time to really get to know people, and it's not the time to be in your own head and be like, well, this is how I am and this is how I'm going to cope and everyone has to deal with me. I would just learn together, and it's going to make so much sense as to why you are who you are and why you do and how you can make other people's life so much easier, and how you can make living with you more tolerable during this time if we all just get to know each other a little bit better.
Agreed. Well, thank you guys for your time. Lily, thank you for joining me on this. Hope you guys have a terrific day. I have absolutely no idea what day it is, but I hope it's terrific. Bye, everybody. Thank you.
Bye.